evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Braden. Braden, you've got lots and lots of domainers where you live.
Yeah, I mean they're not in my house right now, but yeah,
Yes.
they're close by.
I understand Mr. Premium lives nearby, and there are a few others. Yes.
Well, no, Mark doesn't. I mean, compared to you, yes, Mark lives close by, but I'm on the West Coast. He's on the East Coast, so he's like 3,000 miles away.
Oh, that's quite a distance. You cannot
Yeah.
really cycle around.
I mean, you could. People have.
Some crazy ones. Sam, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How you doing?
Sam, a smile. How has been your month?
Oh, not bad. Yeah, it's just consistently selling domains, but I've sort of diverted to .coms yet again. I'm buying a lot of domains in auctions and battling with other people, obviously. Costing a lot more money, but I'm just taking a UK for a rest at the moment.
Ryan, what does it mean if Sam is buying? He has sold something, yes?
Yeah, Sam's always selling on the download.
Yeah. I've sold a few recently, but I actually, funny enough, sold a .uk, and I haven't sold one of them in five plus years since they launched. Continued .uk, $4,995 after next sale. They didn't buy the .co.uk.
Sam, quick question. Sam, sorry, are you on the VPN again?
No, I'm probably on. Hold on a minute. I'll just cut my.
Sam sometimes uses, not sometimes, quite often he uses VPN. Sometimes he joins in and.
Can you hear me better now? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. So continued.uk for $4,995. They didn't buy the co.uk. They bought the .uk. I don't know why. It's normally the other way around.
And you had both.
I had both, yeah, and they were both priced.
Continue. Did you say continue?
Continued, yeah. CONTINTUED.uk.
Oh, past tense.
Continued, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have continue.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good one.
Oh, is that .com? Yes, of course. Continue. Well, then.
Not past tense, just continue.
Yeah.
And what is the asking price? Fantastic name.
I have to look it up, which I can do. A lot more than $5,000. Let's see. Continue.
A fantastic name.
I don't know. I think it's low seven figures.
Low seven figures. Ryan, your resolution just went. Poof. Glory.
I would have thought maybe 2 million for continue. That's quite a nice domain, an end user. It's a nice domain.
Oh no, actually, it's got it priced at $550.
It's a nice. It's a nice buy.
I've had it a long time. I don't try to moonshot everything. I will price something fairly if I got it for a good deal, just to kind of create some volume, some sales. I mean, sometimes it just depends. If I think I've got an incredible deal, I might put a big spread on it, but I try to price things fairly just to get some sales happening. Just want to feel something,
And what are your last sales, Braden?
Sorry?
What are your last sales? Can you name few sales? If they are public.
Yeah, almost everything is public. My last sale, which was I think about a week ago or so,
wow.
maybe 2 weeks ago, was Blaze BLAZE.ai.
Blaze. Okay.
sold for 40K.
Mm.
40.
It's a good time to be selling AIs. They're a bit hot at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, I've only got, we were just talking about this on Domain Sherpa. I've only got 4.ai names that I've had for a few years. So I've sold 25% of my AI inventory.
And what are the 3 left?
You know, you can't just ask me questions, expect I'm going to know off the top of my head. I got to look this stuff up.
When you have a portfolio like that, yes.
Let's see. I'll tell you. I know one is server.ai.
Uh-huh.
Aftermarket.
Aftermarket.
And EV, like electric
EV.
vehicle.
Yes, electric.
AI. Server.ai. Those are the 3 left.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you buying AI domains yourself?
No. Someone came to me asking me to broker bet.ai, and I said no, something for me.
Pretty good name.
I've got quite a lot of gambling clients from the football project I had, but no, I'm common org basically in UK. It's quite funny. I spent the last 4 days transferring 15,000 .coms across into our account, like literally 4 days of auth codes. And I saw that there was a report out yesterday for all the top transfers between registrars. So I worked out I was the number 18th registrar in terms of new additions last month.
Wow. So
Pretty good.
Another portfolio buy?
Yeah, 15,000 .coms. Well, some 12,000 comms, 1,500 orgs, 1,500 nets. Some nice domains as well in there.
What are the highlights?
So, yeah. Martialarts.com.
Yeah, great.
Dogs.org. I'm discussing a sale on that, 120 for dogs.org.
Already?
Yeah. 6 3-letters.
Wow.
And then I saw one yesterday, actually, rvdelaware.com for gross sales 4,000, net sale 3,000. So
that's pretty good.
Yesterday.
Delaware is a tiny, tiny little state.
Yeah. GoDaddy came in on it with $1,000 offer, so I moonshot it at 12.5. They came back, said the client's basically at 3.5, and I said, look, I'm happy to spread the 12,500 over some months. They came back, said, look, basically $3,000, and I said, well, look, how about 5 net? And then I think it closed at 4 or something to cover their commission. So it's all right. There's quite a lot of these sales that happen in the kind of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 range, and they just keep cash flow ticking over. So when I think what I paid for it a week ago, it's a pretty good return.
And
so yeah,
what did you pay for it?
7 figures for the portfolio.
For the portfolio, but what's so break that down times 15,000 divided by 15,000.
Yeah.
So,
roughly speaking, then let's just call it say $60, $70 a domain. Yeah. Roughly, it was a bit more than that, but roughly there.
Right,
but really nice.
You'd have to weight martial arts and the 3-letter. You'd have to put more weight on those because clearly they're not the same value.
Well, I mean, martial arts there's conversations going on around about the 600, 700 region. That's been a week as well. So that will largely cover a big chunk of the cost of the acquisition.
How do you have conversations happening for martialarts.com and dogs.org already when you've only had the portfolio for a week?
So generally when you buy a portfolio, the moment you change DNS, then you'll get a influx of people who are kind of monitoring those particular domains. Martial arts is with Alan Hack. So he's quite big in the space. So he's having several conversations at that level. So yeah, it's just knowing the right people, I guess, with the different stuff. So prior to it going into escrow and stuff, I'm already working out the high value assets and kind of starting the process on those.
So has Alan been working on martialarts.com for a while prior to your acquisition of the portfolio?
I would say 2 weeks.
Oh, so you just gave it to him to work?
Yeah. But there's conversations going on because he's quite connected with a few of the martial arts people and stuff. So he's been probably the highlight for me in terms of people I go to is Alan. He's an absolute legend. we've done quite a lot of work over the last 18 months, and he's generally really well connected.
Yeah, and one of the nicest people on the planet. I could only hope to be that nice someday.
Yeah, really nice guy. Yeah, really nice guy.
And we have a viewer from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh.
That is impressive. That's impressive. And all transfers are over, Ryan, yes?
Yep, transfers are done. And then what else? So we brandable, that's very close to launch. I leaked out the visuals, the prototype last night. So feedback's been good. Yeah, really excited for that. That's been 6 months in build, design and build. So that'll be really good when that goes live. And then we'll be on to the other projects. Digital Candy, or we're probably going to rename Digital Candy something else. We've got quite a decent, maybe going more high end, on par with like
digital snacks, maybe.
Digital Dreams.
Broadened from just candy to snacks.
Yeah. Digital Business in a Box.
Just wait, after this live stream, you will have offers flooding in already for newly registered domain names. .coms, .xyzs.
Yeah. Right.
I think the vision at the beginning of the year was to have maybe get 20,000 domains, and Digital Candy, those mid-tier domains up to say 20, 30, 40,000 would have been a great brand. But now we're kind of looking at maybe 200,000 domains by the end of the year. And maybe the higher end stuff, we're looking at portfolios in the kind of 30, 40 million range. So it's then about venture capital, unicorns, that kind of thing. So that branding, Digital Candy, won't be suitable. So we'll probably just bin it off and move on with another really nice domain that we're looking at.
How many names do you have now in the portfolio?
21,000 comms. And then
Total.
UK total. Yeah. And then UK is about, in the group, 15,000. Something like that. Mo and Jeff have got quite big holdings.
So
15,000.
Total.
So 21,000 comms and 15,000 UKs.
So 36,000, but you have nets and orgs.
Maybe 2,000 nets, 2,000 orgs.
So you have
40.
38 or 40,000.
Yeah, at the moment, but there's a couple of deals I'm looking to bring over the line the next 6 weeks. So maybe we'll get to, I'm hoping to get to 200,000 by the end of the year, but we'll see.
Sorry, to 200,000 or 200,000?
200,000 domains, comms, by the end of the year, owned, is the plan. So
sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, we're gonna have to scale things, but it's most definitely a lot of work. But yeah, it's good. I'm all in on domains. So
how do you manage what are the expectancies on the team?
So on the digital and on the design and build side, I've got people that I use, not employees, but kind of people I've used for like 10 years. So there's like 4 or 5 people on design and build. My dad's the portfolio manager. Okay. I do all the buying and selling. We've got Jed, who started 5 weeks ago. He's brokering. And so we've been outbounding maybe 1,000 emails a week on domains. But yeah, no, we're going to scale. We've got to scale because I'm kind of feeling a bit tired at the moment. So yeah, we're going to go for it basically.
Braden, how big is your portfolio?
I've got less than 3,000 names now. I'm not. I'd have to check. Maybe 2,700 or something like that. I've been my peak was 15,000, and I've been trying to bring that number down. But a lot of those names were, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 names, and now my focus is on high value names. That my portfolio is worth substantially more than it was then. Just trying to go up market.
And also the renewable costs are not those as before.
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Now the renewals are kind of meaningless compared to sales, right? Because it's, I'm spending $30,000 on renewals a year, and my sales are always in the seven figures.
Okay.
So it doesn't, it doesn't really matter much. It doesn't move the needle anymore. But when it was 15,000 and my sales were, at 50,000 names and my sales were $150,000,
Yes.
there was more margin in that, but in each individual sale, but the overall profitability got squeezed because of the reg fees. And now it's flipped. And, I don't have to worry about moving 15,000 names over, right? Because I'm buying one name at a time, but every time I buy a name, I'm spending six figures.
Sam, and how big is your portfolio altogether?
So, yeah, I used to have 15,000 names, .cos, .coms, .uk's. Majority, I invested in something like, I think it was 1,500 three-letter .uk's. And I bought them really cheap, and I managed to flip loads of them. And then now I probably only have about 10 of them, 10, 15 three-letter .uk's. So my portfolio has gone down to about 6,000 in total, including .coms, UK's, .cos, .nets, .orgs. And me and Paige went on a frenzy buying all these other crappy extensions like .luxury, but I won't go any further. But I've never had luck with any of these other extensions. .co maybe, I've sold a few of them, but I always stick with what I know. In UK, I've made a lot of money with, so I am a UK. I own some of the best UK .co.uk's, .uk's, but now back to .com, because as we all know, .com is king.
Braden, a while ago we had an interesting live stream, and Sam was a little bit upset on me, and then Ryan was a bit upset as well as I pushed the price a bit higher. Have you heard it? Sam owns selfiestick.com.
Yeah, I remember when that was on the market. Did you buy the plural and the singular, because they were being marketed as a set?
I think I talked to you, Braden, when I got it, because I got it with the deal when I sold a domain, right? And part of the deal was they gave me the domain equivalent to $20,000 US, right? And I managed to. They just literally said, "Oh, we'll throw this in the deal because we don't want to pay any more money." And I think I talked to you about it, and you said, "Oh, someone offered it to you in the past, and you weren't interested." Because originally I was trying to get like at least $10,000 for it, because potentially it is, it's worth more than $10,000. To an end user in the long term, you could easily sell that for 25. I don't know. I throw in numbers. I think Ryan was saying he'd put the price at 75,000 and leave it, that's what I've done at the moment.
Ryan, you start behaving really, really poorly. Both me and you, we should not play poker. Do you still want that name?
What, Sam with Selfie Stick?
Yes. Can we close the deal?
Yeah. I mean, look, the terms in decline, but I still think you could get. I would just moonshot it and forget about it, basically.
Well, look, multiple brokers had that name, that set of names, and it was being marketed for a long time, and that's why he gave it to you, because he could not sell it. He could not sell it retail, and he could not sell it wholesale, and so he gave it away. So what's that tell you about the interest in that name? And the brokers, multiple brokers had it. So every manufacturer, every retailer of selfie sticks was contacted. So it's not a good sign. I pay more for names that have never been on the market. That, the original Registrar got it in 1994, and now they're retiring. And I'll pay more for that name that no one's ever seen, and then for a name that's been on the market for a long time. I don't want that name that every broker in town has been working on, because every end user has already been contacted. So,
this was actually owned by a company, right? So basically, I'd sold a domain. They were after a domain, one of my domains, and they owned Selfie Stick, and they bought it. They told me they bought it for $20,000, right? But I looked up; it looked like it being sold for $15,000. So they never did anything with it. So that's the story, really, and that's how I acquired it. I thought it was worth something, but who knows?
yeah, it's definitely worth something. I mean, that's
What do you
true.
What do you reckon scrap value on it is, and what do you reckon retail? If you were going to buy for scrap, and you're going to pitch it for retail, what do you reckon those figures are? Do you think $5,000 is a good deal?
Yeah, I was going to say $5,000. If it was $5,000, I'd buy it too. But because then you can turn around and sell it for 20 if you need to. But it's still going to be long hold because you've got something that's fallen out of favor, right? Selfie sticks are just not popular anymore. So it reminds me of many years ago, I bought plasmatv.com. I think I spent $5,000 on it. It's worthless now.
Absolutely.
Just totally worthless because the technology doesn't even exist anymore, right? I mean, it exists, but it's not a thing. Nobody buys plasma TVs. And I thought I was buying it cheap enough, and I could still sell it at the tail end of this technology, and bad call. So selfie stick is the same thing.
Oh, that is very good lesson.
And I think I ended up picking up plasmatelevision.com for like $100. So what's that tell you? So selfie stick is not a technology that's been replaced. It's just not popular. Look, they can become popular again. That's possible. I think it's a weird brand name. I don't see it being used as a brand. So I just don't think it has a lot of value. So I would sell it to anybody that's interested. Just ink it out from under there.
Yeah, which is kind of where I was at. I was
Yes.
at 5,000, maybe 6,000, right? And then just forget about it, basically.
And then we went up to 7.
No, we didn't get 7.
And Sam didn't agree. Sam didn't agree on 7,
Okay,
Or-
that was the
something like that.
Yeah.
Sam, 5 today, maybe.
No, I'll just keep it forever.
Selfie sticks are not plasma TVs. Absolutely, plasma TVs are gone. Of course, nobody produces them, but selfie sticks are being produced and produced and produced. And being
It's still
sold.
It's still
Of course.
popular. To this day, everyone has a selfie stick, or
Yeah.
you can still buy them, and still manufacturers are manufacturing them. So there's still a
Yeah, no, for sure. It's not
Mm.
worthless. It's just worth less.
It's just it's just not. It's
yes.
hit that period. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that not working if you buy it for $5,000. Yeah.
And look, I think part of this is that Sam, you just said everybody has a selfie stick.
Yeah.
True. I have one. It's in a drawer somewhere. But if everyone already has one, they're not replacing them. They're not buying new ones. And so, the marketing isn't there like it was. So, anyways, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. We've kind of, that's an American expression. Maybe I shouldn't use it with you guys. Look, again, it's not worthless. It definitely has value. It's not a lot.
The thing is, whether you sell it for 20 or 75, it's the same thing, right? You're going to need a motivated buyer. Yeah. So ultimately, it's the same thing. The funny thing about when you say about brokers having assets is I don't know how many people actually. There's different levels of brokers. I don't know how many people are actually actively really going for things, especially in the lower level, like say 20 grand, 50 grand for a domain. I don't know how active they are. I mean, I've got a lot of domains out with different brokers, no reports, no feedback. Like, I'm not convinced that they are like chasing everything like we do, for example, with like Jed. I don't know how active they are.
Oh, for a $20,000 name?
20, 50, yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, you're not going to get brokers working on it, because if they're charging, 10 or 15%, and they can make $3,000, how much work are they going to put into that versus they could be representing a name for $150,000, right, or $200,000? So it's hard to get a broker to work on a name for less than 6 figures. And when it is less than 6 figures, they're just putting it on a newsletter, and that's it. They're not doing any active work on it.
Yeah.
With I don't want to get like a DM from somebody that's like, hey, I represent $25,000 names and I work on them all the time. I'm sure there's somebody out there that works them, but by and large, the well-known brokers aren't working on small names.
Yeah.
That is a good one. And are you catching all of you catching domain names? Who is it to catching?
No.
I place bids on the drop catch. Are you talking about the drop catch services?
Yeah. Also, yes. In CCTLDs, you can actually catch them, though .coms are different. Yes.
Are you talking about directly, or are you talking about through?
This is a question of directly catching domain names.
Oh, no idea.
I don't. We've got like maybe 9 nominate accreditations. We don't catch anything. Comms are so comms basically. I think Dropcatch have got 1,000 ICANN accreditations, so they've got 1,000 to 1 chance of catching a domain.
I think they've got more than that.
So the big players, someone else, I can't remember who else, has 150 tags.
Wow.
So there's on comms and orgs and nets, that's pretty well sewn up.
Trillion
It's quite a good
lot.
business. Oh,
Trillion,
yeah.
And of course, NameJet.
Yeah. So between them,
sorry.
1,000. So Dropcatch have got 1,000 tags. So to get a tag, you have to have a US registered company. You have to have a telephone number. And then you have to have like $85,000 in your bank. And what people don't really know about the tags or accreditations is to have an ICANN accreditation costs $4,000 set it up, and then $4,000 a year or something. So it's really big business, and people have been just stockpiling these accreditations.
So basically, you can get an accreditation and then just rent it out to somebody like NameJet.
Yeah, you could rent it out. Yeah, you could. The market rate for an ICANN accreditation is $20,000 to buy one. That's the market rate at the moment for them. So you can buy them already set up.
So it seems that you are looking into that one. Yes.
Not for drop catching, but I know a few people who are looking to go big on accreditations. But it's not. I'm not interested in it, to be honest. Even UK, so it's not my thing. I'd rather just pay an auction, whatever the price is.
And with the UK zone, you are not successful, no? Do you say you have 4 tags?
We've got 9 tags, but we don't
9.
do it. We don't participate. We don't do it.
it.
I mean, I was part of when the UKs were released. So in 2015, .uk was released. You had 4 years rights of registration, and then you could compete in an auction in 2019 for anyone that didn't take up the rights. So we paid nominate £90,000 to get the top tier accreditation, and the whole thing was just a joke. So yeah, drop catching is not something that's on my radar.
Sam?
Yeah, I do a bit of drop catching.
Finally, for the first time, he admits.
But it's difficult out there, unfortunately. You've got people multi-tagging, and I've got 2 tags which I use. You get 1,000 requests per day. You've got to spread those 1,000 requests per amount of domains that you're going for. There's so many more tags that are appearing, like with Russian names and different company names, weird names you've never heard of in your life, tags that you've never heard of in your life. It's because they're using tons of tags and spreading the 1,000 requests and then just going like crazy. But since they changed the system to the exact time when it drops, it's made it very difficult because everyone hammers the servers and then one person gets that domain name. But you can get good domain names. The best thing to do really is to have a system and play around with the settings all the time. You might catch one domain, and that domain could be worth a lot of money. But I was very successful in catching for many years. But the market now is just crazy. But yeah, I class it as a bit of fun. But yeah, I've got a system in place. If anyone wants to buy it, Ryan.
Ryan, if anyone, Ryan.
I'll have to show you when we in London. I'll show you how it all works. I'll just get my laptop out. But yeah, it's.
And if you buy it, he'll throw in selfiestick.com.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, deal. Bang. Here you go. How much would be the price? How much would be the price?
What,
Sam?
for the drop catching system?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let us talk business. Come on.
I
Of course, you have the price. Of course, you always have the price.
It's still in beta mode, so it's.
Okay. Now he's dancing.
So it depends. Once Ryan's had a couple of drinks, we can negotiate.
We'll have some tequila. That may make it easier.
And then you'll give it away for free.
Yeah, that's it.
Braden, I don't know if you have heard, UK zone is actually quite funny. Sam, what is going on with nominate fees being asked to be returned, and something crazy is going on?
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell the story a bit more that Braden understands it as well.
I don't. Well, the only thing I've read is on obviously your forum, Acorn Domains. Some member at Nomina, because to be part of Nomina, which is obviously in the UK, to be a UK registrar, you have to pay 500 plus VAT, which is 600 quid, to join, right? So you pay that one off, which is it's easy to get into the game in the UK. Then you pay 120 quid a year to be a member. Now, some people have been members for donkey's years, yeah? Now, one member has sued Nomina and said in the terms he never had to pay for his membership. So he's got his membership back, and every year that he's been a member, he's claimed back. And he's managed to actually win the case because there's something, I'm not too sure, you got to read about it, but there's something in the clause that they're not allowed to charge to for a tag and for you to be a member. It's very complex, and I'm like, I don't know how people are doing it, it's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, surely if you're using a service, you get charged for it. But
so he has been a member for, let us say, 5+ years.
Yeah,
he has been enjoying all the benefits.
Yeah,
super low registration fees.
Price,
yes, absolutely. And sometimes nominate, very rarely, but still nominate.
Using
sometimes
a tag,
releases.
using a tag to catch, using the EPP and the DAC and everything.
Is he into catching as well? Yes, I
understand. That particular person catches as well. Can you believe it?
Okay, so he has used the service in full. He has ridden the horse.
Ridden the whole system.
And now he has actually successfully claimed.
Yeah, through the courts, he's claimed.
So there's a 5 million liability against Nominate. So everyone who's a member can back their fees for the last 20 years or something.
Yeah, that's
was when Nominate Incorporated, there was a charter that said that basically there were going to be tiered memberships. So if you paid more, you would get more voting rights. It was published and essentially charging members fees against their original charter. So this guy sued Nominate. Nominate didn't even turn up in court, but the gross liability is in the 5 million region for Nominate to repay any membership fees that have been paid to any registrar over the last potentially 20 years, 25 years. So that's been a bit of a thing going around UK at the moment.
Some funny island, Braden, isn't it?
Look, we have that kind of stuff out here too.
But going for £100 a year for a membership fee, £100 a year, And
He'd only been a member since 2016, so he's only getting like a couple of grand, if that. You know, what's
Yes, it seems too small to bother suing over, and certainly it made sense that Nominet just didn't respond because it's not worth it.
Yeah. The thing is, for businesses, when you get to a certain level, legal's a big part of what you do, isn't it? So I would have thought they'd defend it because it's not just him; it's the 5 million liability of all membership fees. But yeah, it is what it is.
and also creates a precedent. Yes.
Yeah. So renewals will go up in cost. He's saved £1,000. Everyone else will.
yeah, screw.
So in the
I'll take one
US,
of the-
someone would have to sue them. It would be a class action, so they'd have to get other plaintiffs, and you know, I would assume it's something similar out there, but unless somebody puts together a class, then they're not going to have to refund all that money, right? Somebody has to sue them for all the money on behalf of everybody.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, and I don't know how it works. It wouldn't be a class action lawsuit in the UK, I don't think. It would be more set a precedent, and therefore the floodgates open. But I'm not sure.
Well, the precedent, certainly that precedent would help contribute to winning that case, but a precedent doesn't force them to return everybody's money.
No, there's still stuff going on. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Are you going to see?
Some lawyer will take it on because they'll get, you know, a third or 40% or 45% of that $5 million if they can get it back, plus interest, right? There'll probably be interest over the last however many years.
Yeah. Or the fees.
Mm-hmm.
You're going there just for the fees, putting on their fees. Yes. Well, it is what it is. So shall we dive into Lee's portfolio? There is Icon Domains user who has submitted number of his domain names. And let us see. Maybe we will start with Braden, if Braden doesn't mind.
Don't give me UKs.
Oh, those are exactly the ones.
I'll just shrug.
Okay, so here they are.
Okay, I can't help you with anything that has a vowel in it.
So for UK, rank, time, right, relaxation, Trojan, CK. Okay, nice, satellite, catapult, sumo, lion, ramp, bowl, upload, past, coffee bean, correct, moan, mallet, marshmallow, showtime, shades, and trademark verbatim.
Those are all good SLDs, except moan. I don't. That's
Moan, yes.
not MOWN.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
If you cut your grass,
Mown the
I think
grass.
then no, that wouldn't mow the grass. Would the lawn would have been mown? I don't know.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It would have been mowed. At least in the
Okay.
US. I don't know what you guys do out there. But verbatim, verbatim is a good word, but I don't know if it makes a very good. Yeah, it's probably company. I'd have to look it up. But all these, Showtime is great. Correct is great. Bowl, ramp, lion. Of course, all animals are great, especially a 4-letter. Sumo would be good for sumo.com, which is AppSumo.
Yes. Absolutely.
And nice, of course, CK, any 2-letter. Trojan,
Calvin
right,
and Klein, yes.
right.
CK.
I mean, they're all solid SLDs. I have no idea what the value is on any of these.
And
but
if you
portfolio.
have educated with uneducated guess, what would you say?
An
CK.
uneducated. Well, I mean,
Yes.
what's the point of an uneducated guess? Because I've got no idea what I'm talking about. So
Okay, no worries.
why am I going to say words that I know are wrong?
Okay, no problem. So Sam, what about you?
I can see one of my names on there, which is
Which one?
so this is, who's this? Lee, is it?
Lee.
Is it
Yes,
Lee
Lee has got 11,000 domain names. Yes.
Yeah, I know Lee. Yeah, I've sold a lot of names to Lee. Yeah, Catapult is one of mine. All these names are great. You know, CK. That could be a 250k plus, easy. Nice. Yeah, all these names are, a lot of these names are 50k plus, but obviously UK is a time waiting thing. You know, you got to. I don't know what he wants for these, but I know he sold ring.co.uk to Amazon. So
Oh, okay.
um,
Do you know this? Do you know the price?
I don't know the price. I remember when it was for sale, and I really wish I'd bloody bought it. I think it was around 5 or 6 grand, or maybe no, I think it was 8 grand. But that went to ring.com obviously because that was a while ago.
Fantastic product.
CK, obviously your buyer is CK, isn't it?
Yeah.
Calvin Klein.
One of the buyers, possible buyers.
But then again, you might get them DRS you for it. You never know. Just make sure you haven't got bloody parking ads on any of these. I don't think he has actually. But yeah, all these names. Lion's another one off Acorn Domain Names. Someone was selling that. Yeah, all these are great. But Moan, I wouldn't. I don't know. No, I wouldn't own that. Mallet, Marshmallow. I don't know about that. Who's going to buy that? A marshmallow. Showtime, Shades. Yeah, all these are great names.
Marshmallow is interesting. Cadbury is actually, they do like their domain names. They understand the value of domain names really well.
But like I say, most of them are top UK domain names, and you know, for example, like the high end prices for names like these, like free.co.uk, 200k, 200,000 US dollars is probably what you're going to get if you get the right buyer. But you've got to remember, you're dealing with the UK again. There's only a small fraction of people that buy. You know, I've had some amazing names, but they just don't get offers. So yeah, they're all great names, but like I say, depends what he wants to sell them for.
Ryan, before this live stream, you said, Braden, that in general, if you are generous, you would value .co.uk 1/10 of .com. Was it?
Yeah. I mean, I would shoot some values on this. Roughly speaking, for an end user, for you, 7.5 to 12.5 rank, 40k time, 65 right, 25 relaxation, 25 Trojan, 60 CK, 30 to 50. We've got 26 2 letters, so I know 30 to 50 is the range. Nice is probably one.
If I can just jump in. So CK would be a $3 million name if it was a .com.
Oh, if it's .com.
Right. So you said 10x. It was more like 20x.
Yeah. Well, so things have drifted into the 15 to 20x multiple division, but I think 10 is a fair thing. I don't know. While you can get 3 million for CK.com, reality is you could probably pick it up for $1 million, between 800 and $1 million. I think that's where that domain would be for.
Well, but
if you want to shoot relatively quickly.
Retail is not going to be that low.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming in. Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. Then, I mean, Sam's always saying that for 2 letters he would be in the 1-200 region, so maybe it's in the 1-200. For me, I think you'd do well in the current market to get 30 to 50.
Yeah. So if it CK.com, I mean, those are great letters, right? So,
Absolutely.
I mean, if it wholesaled for 800, I would not be surprised. And if it retailed for 2 million, I'd see that. I could see that happening, but that would be a low retail.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's any trademark infringements for Calvin Klein on that one or anything like that. I don't know I'm not sure whether that's an issue.
Still, this is an abbreviation, and there could be many central something.
Well, you can't sell
Yeah.
clothes, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
with branding CK. So trademark infringement is very, very narrowly defined,
Absolutely.
and so you couldn't, just like Apple, right? I mean, we all eat fruit called apple, and there's all kinds of companies named Apple, and you could sell Apple furniture, you could sell Apple all kinds of stuff, but you can't sell Apple computers or Apple Music or Apple other kind of peripherals related to technology.
Yep.
So they have a bunch of copyrights, but they're all very narrow, right? And you can look them up. They're readily available. So CK is only going to be clothing and accessories, but that's it. I'm sure there are thousands and thousands of companies that use the abbreviation CK.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, which is it's valid and it's fair. I'm just kind of shooting a bit here and
giving the prices to be sold. Yes.
Yeah, I would probably be more bullish, right? If I was prepared to wait for a few years, I'd be more bullish on pricing. But I think a reasonable price to get it out, like reasonable price of shifting in the next year, if you do some outbounding, would roughly be in that range. Nice is probably 100,000. Satellite 75. Catapult 60. Sumo I don't like personally. The fact that Sumo apps and stuff. The more big players in the market, I think it affects the value of when you're wanting to enter into there across everything for advertising and a whole range. So
and Sumo are big in technology. Yeah. They keep launching more and more products all the time. Like Noah Keegan is crazy awesome, and plus he's trying to take it public as well. So they are very aggressive. Please go on.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the market's 100% and you're carving out 30% that you can't operate in, it's got to have an impact on the number of end users. Lion's a weird one, probably 30 to 50K. Maybe an end user might pay 75 to 100. Ramp, 30 to 50. Bowl, 30 to 50. Upload, maybe 50 to 60. Past, 75 to 125. Coffee Bean, 30 to 50. Correct, 75.
Past, you've got a radio test issue with Past. So I would not, you had that one high, and I would not price it quite as high because you got Past PASSED and PAST. So that's a problem.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Coffee Bean, that's a weird one because I could see six figures for some kind of chain, but maybe 60,000, maybe.
Really?
Correct.
60 grand for that Coffee Bean?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get six figures for it, if you can get in, because it as long as it's a national chain or something.
Yes,
it is. In the US, it's a national chain.
Is it?
Oh, it's already one. Okay.
Oh, then now you just need to sit down and wait till they come in.
Yeah, so my valuation's just gone down on that. Then if someone's already done it, I'd say 25 to 30. Correct. 50, 30 to 50. Moan, no idea. Mallet, 7.5. Marshmallow, again, this is a bit like Coffee Bean. I think could be in the 50 range, could be 100 grand for the right. If there's some kind of chain type thing that could be done with it. Showtime, again, major conflict with, I think Showtime are a big boxing promoter. Yes. My valuation on that would be lower because of your exclusions, but maybe 75, but I wouldn't be surprised if it sold for 200. Shades, 7.5, and then Verbatim, maybe 30.
It is also a large technology company.
Oh, is it? Okay. 20. But I mean, look, some of it, ideally, when you're valuing domains, you're going to look at Google search volume. You're going to look at comparables. You're going to look at potential conflicts. You need to know the number of end users. It's hard when you just shoot a list and you're trying to just like ad hoc it. But based on the domains we've got, which are oneletter.co.uk's and stuff. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought it was to do with grass.
Yeah, it is. I looked it up. Moan and mode are essentially the same thing. So they seem to be used interchangeably, mode and moan.
Which would be a nice brand for a landscape gardener, this type of thing. But when I think of landscaping brands or national chains, it's like Green Thumb or something like that, a bit more brandable than Moan. That's got a weird thing. But
I think I can't imagine anyone use moan because it doesn't seem to be used as quite as much. Mode is used much more, at least in the US, right?
Yeah.
Mode is used much more than moan. And also you have a radio problem with moan because it's spelled MOAN, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And that is to moan.
Yeah.
Over your mown lawn.
Yeah, I can't really see any end users for it as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one.
I mean, if someone came to me with that portfolio to sell,
Yes.
I would be generous at 75 grand. And that's
to buy the whole portfolio.
The whole portfolio. I think I'm being generous at 75.
Okay.
He will not.
Lee is listening. Lee is listening.
I don't think Lee will agree to that.
Yeah, but that's wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale.
I mean, you hold out. You can sell one of those names for 75 grand.
Yeah. Remember, the key thing at the moment is the UK market is not the time to be selling. It's the time to be buying. So yeah, if you're going to sell, but again, these are not easy sells. If I get a com, I know I can shift it in a week or 2 weeks if I need to. Try and shift it .co.uk or UK, and I've got some of the best around. It's just really hard work. Really, there's no liquidity whatsoever. Which is why brandable, the market, like my place, will hopefully drive up the value, because in the UK, Braden, like, we're quite a small place, right? You've got a forum, you've got 2 auction platforms, and they're very visible by everyone, end users and everything. So the market is just kind of it's in a really bad state because end users seeing domain sales for like £50 and stuff. So now's not the time to be selling. But yeah.
And plus the big sales in UK zone are gone as well. We cannot see them.
Yeah, UK is very.
This was what Barry was talking about as well. He can't see anymore 100,000 plus sales.
Yeah, because they're not. People
report them.
No, especially me. I don't disclose big sales. Why would I?
I mean, I know a colour sold about a month ago for about 75. A colour. I won't say what colour it was. I can't say what colour it was. But it was a colour and it was 75k.
Okay.
So there are sales.
The color in the rainbow.
Yes.
Red.
It's in the rainbow. Okay, so it's not a Barbie color.
No.
Wait,
it was in the rainbows.
So you were the seller, yes?
I wasn't the seller, no. But
you were the buyer?
One of my partners was a seller. But I'm not allowed to. I'm like, anything I sell, right, I'm cool, I'm open with, or anything I buy. But when it's someone else's thing, they're a bit sensitive. But the point is, there are big sales going on. They're just behind closed doors.
Okay, that's nice. Have you heard of Louis, who has sold of Brandfos? Louis is coming to the summit, and I'm trying to find a place for him. Almost impossible. And he has sold connect.com. Have you heard of that sale?
Yeah.
Sam? 10 million.
No.
10
How much
million.
is it? 10 million.
10 million, yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, Dharmesh bought it.
Oh, yeah, because he bought chat, didn't he? And he flipped it for whatever it was, and then he went back and got Connect. Good domain.
No. He just bought chat a few weeks ago, a month ago or something, and Connect was early in the year.
Right. It's good
And
sell,
he bought
10 million.
some others too. Dharmesh is very active. I sold Dharmesh a name a few weeks ago. Super nice guy.
Is he an investor or he uses them in businesses?
he uses them, and he'll get an idea. He codes.
Okay, nice.
He's a billionaire now, so he gets ideas. He likes to build stuff, and he's got tons of money, so he can just find the name he likes and he buys it and then puts it on the shelf or build something with it.
And not just a name, a perfect name.
Yeah.
If he wants a name, he picks up a perfect name, and then it makes sense. And then there are so many Connect brands, and there is only one Connect.com.
Yeah,
He's
it's
the
a HubSpot product.
Yeah, he's the founder of HubSpot. And Chat as well. I think Chat.com he picked up for, I want to say 9.5 million. There was a problem with the original buyer. Andrew Miller reached out to him. They closed overnight or something, 9.5 million. I think he flipped it for 20. No?
I can't say, but it's much higher than that.
So talking about that portfolio, so we saw the portfolio, and let us say we think that .co.uk is worth 1/10 of the equal .com. Let us say you had nice.com versus the whole other portfolio. Which one would be more valuable?
Com.
With the .com, it'd be based on Ryan's appraisals. It seems more like 1/20th of the .com, and I would say the .com has more value, even accounting for the difference in value. It's better to have the .com because it's more liquid, right? It's easier to turn a .com than it is a .co.uk, and more possible buyers. And in addition to that, you've got with any CCTLD, you've got one country, right? One geographic defined region that can use that name versus .com is the only international extension, other than some of the possible new NTLDs, right? Some of the the .gurus of the world. But the problem is you have a language barrier, which you don't have with .com.
We
Right.
just
So
sold
you
Jed just sold a domain actually to someone who had .guru, and he sold the com.
sold the com.
Yeah, little baby
Yeah,
sell,
the
but
problem is because people see that and they don't even recognize that it's a domain name. They don't know what .guru is. They've never seen it before. They don't know how it works. They don't get it. I mean, there is a booking.com, I think it was, ran a campaign a few years ago. It was booking.yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
And
God.
and it was just like a funny thing that they were doing. There is no .yeah. But now that we have all these extensions, including ones that you've never heard of, right? There's a couple thousand of them. It could be. But so now we have this confusing campaign out there with booking.yeah, which doesn't exist.
Well, you don't know. Maybe in Web3 they've created it. These TLDs are being sold. Web3 TLDs are being sold for $5.5 grand.
But this is pre-Web3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
You can't access Web3. Have you seen the .nike? So if you go to just do it .nike, they're Nike using one domain on their TLD. I think it's just do it .nike. I think it was. Oh, it's not coming up. I can't. Maybe not just.
Sense to use your brand TLD when the public understands it, but at this point, the public doesn't, and it'll be years before they do. It's taking a long time for them to understand that there are other extensions other than ComNet and org. I mean that's the uphill battle. Look, other extensions do sell, but when you've got a .brand, it makes sense from like, look, if you get I don't know, summer sales .nike or contact .nike or something, then it's corporate, as opposed to Nike.com really could be registered by anybody. It's probably owned by them, right?
Yeah.
But Nike sales or NikeCorp.com, they could own Nike Corp. You don't know. You see stuff like that all the time. But is it really them? You don't know. So when you have a .brand, then you know it's not a spammer that spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to acquire
It's,
that.
the domain is swoosh.nike.
Swoosh.nike. Okay.
Swoosh.nike. It's the only one they're running on. Do you know what was quite interesting? Because obviously, like, I'm stepping up to buy portfolios, big portfolios. And what was interesting was GoDaddy seems to be buying quite a lot in the past, but it seems like they're going quite heavy on the new. I think they bought, was it .health or something? Was it? Do you see that one? $35.8 million for .health, and bought another one as well for 40 million. So it's interesting that they're not. There's obviously more money in owning a TLD. But I found that quite interesting because back in the day, GoDaddy would be swooping up all portfolios and everything else, but they seem to be more focused on these the new TLDs.
Yeah, when they bought Uniregistry, the portfolio and the brokerage, I was shocked that they did not buy the registry business. They got the registrar and they got everything else, portfolio, but they passed on the TLDs. They went to auction, and maybe they just couldn't come to a price, and Frank decided to sell them off independently and had that auction. I don't know, but I was pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Sam, maybe you have some information. There are rumors that GoDaddy has recently bought a couple large portfolios.
Well, they bought 2 portfolios recently, didn't they? For, what was it, 33 million or something? I don't know. I just saw something about it. Does anyone else know? Two portfolios, someone they bought GoDaddy.
Yeah, it was 2 TLDs.
So TLDs, yes.
.health and .something else.
Yeah.
So yeah,
those are the portfolios. Yeah, it was reported as portfolios, but they were strict.
Yeah. It's interesting because they're obviously moving in that direction, but the comms and nets and all is going to be around for the next 10 years or foreseeable. But there may be a big push on the new TLDs. I think, is it Braden ICANN are doing the new round? Is that 2026, 28?
It's opening in 26, I think, at the earliest 26. And so, it'll still be another few years after that. So we're not going to see any for a long time. I mean, what was the first round? 2012, I think. So it's already been 12 years. That's 11 years.
And have you considered running yourself a TLD, GTLD?
Oh yeah. I wanted to do it then and just didn't make it happen.
Why?
But I'd like to do it this time.
You would like to?
The first round was far more speculative because was there gonna be any traction on alternative TLDs? And if so, it would take years. We know it's going to take years, and it still hasn't really gotten there, right? If you just stop the average person on the street and ask them to name a domain extension, right? They'll say .com, they'll say .net, they'll say .org, but they won't be able to mention many beyond that, if any, right?
Absolutely.
And so it would be a long hold to make money on some of these strings, and some of them did very well. .club, they made a lot of money. .global made money. A lot of them did well, but how much use is there really? But people are now starting to see .clubs out in the wild and .guru and .whatevers, and so that's what helps. And so I think, that's what we need, right? So that'll help the next round be more successful, right? Those new strings, the next round will be more successful because the public has now had however many 15 plus years of seeing some of these extensions on billboards and TV ads, etc.
And are you considering applying for your own GTLD or?
Yeah, I'll apply.
Okay, you'll apply.
Right. And we'll see what the rules are, because I don't think there's going to be these independent auctions like we had last time.
I think you're better off basically registering 1,000 different applications compete in the bidding process and then you get paid out. I think you get paid out. So if the winning bid is 500k or something, the money you're paid at a percentage as a participant in the auction or something, isn't it? So there's a
That's
huge
how it
opportunity.
was. Right, but that's how it was, and I don't think they're going to do that. This is what I've heard, that they're not going to have the same kind of auction system where it's like every man for themselves. Because now people are going to game that system, right? It'll be just that. We'll put in 1,000, raise a bunch of money, put in 1,000 applications, and just sell, take money out of the auction to walk away. But that's some of that happened last time, and now that's what everyone would do this time if they allowed that. So they're not going to allow it, I don't think.
Because I thought so your first application was like $100,000, then it drops to 85, then it tiers down. So if you do 1,000 extensions, you're paying a couple of $1,000s for an application. So I don't. The stuff I heard was that basically that was still going to happen, but I know it's still in discussion. But that's where you can make the money versus running your own TLD.
I wouldn't be surprised if the application fee was much higher. And like I said, I don't think they're going to have that same kind of auction system.
So the last time application fee was 100,000, yes?
No, I think it was one.
Or
I don't remember. But yeah, some in that region. I don't remember. I don't know exactly what it was. But it was interesting the way they did it. But this is a bit like drop catch, because I wouldn't have a TLD myself. A bit like I wouldn't drop catch. It's just, I don't know, just don't really have any passion for it personally.
why not to buy a GTLD instead with a track record?
Because one is, I personally wouldn't buy an XYZ, or I wouldn't buy some of the other extensions, because I don't want to put my business in the hands of someone else. So I'm happy to buy something that's regulated by Nominate, or something that's governed by ICANN or VeriSign, because I trust them. And if there is an increase in pricing, that's fine. But what I don't like is when owners come in and they're trying to maximize money. So you get premiums that are ridiculously priced. When a domain drops, they're keeping the proceeds. It kind of goes against everything that the internet stands for with .com, which is like, or how the internet was. It was free. You know, you could learn to code, you could put up a site for nothing, you could get a domain name for relatively inexpensive, and you go and create your dream type thing. So I don't like my future being in the hands of private enterprises that have different agendas as to what they're trying to achieve.
What I meant, why not to buy the business, the TLD business, instead of starting to create one from the scratch, from point zero?
Well, I mean, you can buy the software and stuff, so it's not like...
No. You would go and actually buy. So TLDs are being bought.
He's talking about buying an existing extension. You know, .buzz was on the market a few years ago, for example.
Right. Okay.
A lot of them are being sold off.
Braden, have you thought about buying an established, more or less established, maybe a little?
Yeah, I have.
TLD?
I've considered just about everything in this space, but I haven't seen anything that really resonated with me and the price was right. So .buzz, for example, I looked at, and I didn't like the pricing. And do I want to start marketing that? And where do you market it? You probably market it in the marijuana space, for example. I don't have any connections there. That would be one market, right?
And do you know anybody who actually uses .buzz, the main name? I don't know a single one.
I have no idea. but look, you've got there are people out there that buy up these extensions. They can buy a bunch of them. You put them on one server. It's easy to maintain. You don't need a big staff. And you look at names like ICU and all these other ones that were brands.
Yes,
they got acquired inexpensively and kind of rebranded and remarketed as something else. Okay. CFD, is that one of a clothing fashion design?
Yes, and that's Short. Yes, they are coming to the summit. They're coming to the
right.
summit.
And so Lars has bought up what 5 or 6, I think, and CFD didn't stand for clothing fashion design, right? That's what it stands for now. Right, and which is fine if you can remarket that and sell it into the industry. great, but it stood for something else, right? It was some company name. So I think he's got an interesting niche, and he's bought a bunch of them, put it together, and you don't need a lot of registrations on each one for it to make sense. I mean, that's the donuts model, which is now part of Identity Digital along with affiliates. The reason why they called it donuts was because it's like a donut shop. At the end of the day, it's not how many glazed donuts and how many bear claws and how many different kinds of donuts. It didn't matter which one sold. It was just how many donuts sold at the end of the day.
Yes.
And that's how they looked at .horse and .guru and .whatever. It's just registrations, and it didn't matter which was which. It's just registrations. And if you look at the cumulative number, then it starts to work out financially because you have the same servers and the same staff and the same everything.
Absolutely.
So there's economies of scale when you have a bunch.
Ryan, have you been thinking about your own TLD or not really?
No.
No.
It's not. No, it feels like a bit like buying an NFT, or, I personally wouldn't. I just don't like it. It's just not for me. I can see how the numbers would add up, but even CFD, right? I can see you can remarket it as whatever you want. At the end of the day, CFD is a really well-known financial derivatives terms, right? And if you're going to sell it into anything, you're selling it into financial services. So trying to create that bridge into clothing, fashion, design is Lucy's on the same thing.
Yes.
That's a hard thing, and you're selling to people who, well, I don't know. For me, it's just not one for me. I know what I like and know what I don't like. I guess is the thing.
What does CFD stand for? Or what? From a
Financial derivative, cumulative financial
contract for
contract for
differences?
Yes.
Clothing, fashion, design. That's what it stands for.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, and for last, the main extension, GTLD is .bond, I believe. So.
Bond.
.bond, yes, that's his main one. So short dot.
Yes.
He has a short dot bond. He's on it. Yes. A very, very nice guy. Okay, guys, awesome. Thank you for a fantastic fire chat. Braden, thank you for joining in.
You're welcome. Thanks for not doing it at midnight, my time.
Maybe next time.
I won't be here, but you can do it.
Braden, are we going to see you in London?
Yes.
Fantastic.
That's
Please. Awesome. Fantastic. And then please let me know if you are getting any guests for the Sky 23 party. So we will have on the top floor of Hilton, we will have an evening networking party. It will be limited for around 100, maybe 110, 120 people. Mostly exhibitors, speakers, some sponsors, and business passes. And I don't think there will be many free attendees who will be able to get in. As you are coming in, definitely always a special person and a really well-known player in the industry. Please let you know if you have some clients in the UK that you would like to invite to this simple networking thing.
Okay.
And then
great.
I will include them in the list.
All right. Sounds good. We can connect offline, and I think you're going to put me on some panels or something, right? We talked about that.
There is one panel on. Oh, we could. Yes, buying and selling premium domain names. What is a premium domain name?
I don't know anything about that. No, something I understand. I don't know anything about that.
I don't think there are. Everything is like backed up. I will have a look. I will have a look, Brayden.
All right. Sounds good. We can chat about it offline.
Great news. Fantastic, guys. Sam, anything you would like to promote? Last things.
Nothing to promote, no.
Except
I'll leave that to Ryan.
Samcharles.com. Yes.
Yeah. Just contact me if you need to sell your decent UK domain names.
So you are buying actually portfolios still, yes?
I'm still buying UK domain names, even though I'm into .coms more. But Yeah, if anyone's got any, I think Ryan's swooping out and buying everything though, so I think I'm getting the leftovers.
Ryan, what about you?
Buying at the moment, so 2letter.com, 3letter.com, 4letter.com.
Prices?
2letter.com, 4 to 500, 3letter.com, 12 to 14, and then 4letter.com, 100 to 800, depending on what they've got in bulk.
Bang. And how people can contact you? The best way to contact you?
Ryan at digitalcandy.uk.
Thank you. Braden?
I'm taking off in a few days. I'm going to start in Israel and Jordan, and then from there I'm flying to London.
Israel?
Yeah.
Some business or just relaxation?
No. My godson is there, and so I'm going to pick him up, and then we're going to do a tour of Europe. He's 21.
Wow.
And he hasn't been there, and so he's excited to travel. So we're going to travel around for 2 weeks, and we're going to start by seeing you in London.
Okay, and then are you taking a car and driving around? That would make sense, or trains or planes? How do you plan to travel?
Probably. Well, he wants to see a bunch of countries, so we'll probably get a Euro pass and train around town.
Driving is awesome as well, although time consuming. Yes.
Yeah.
But Europe is great. Europe is great. You will love it.
Yeah, we haven't really solidified our itinerary yet. I have a flight out, and that's it so far.
Oh. That's awesome. One of my dreams is actually to go and stay in Tel Aviv or in probably Jerusalem for 2 months to get a small room and just immerse into the culture.
Tel Aviv is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been. I really, really like that city.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you, guys, and have a great night and all the success to you selling your domain names.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.